So it's been about 2 weeks since we did the soil test, and we will be going to the co-op today and picking up those results to see what our soil looks like. But I'm also picking up something today at Harbor Freight for a little garden trick I want to show y'all. So for the garden this year, I'm trying a different thing. As you can see, I have a tarp here in just a quarter of the garden. I am going to try to cover this whole space with a tarp to hopefully suppress some of these weeds. We've gotten a lot of rain and a lot of sun, and some of this is cover crop. Like this is clover, and the cat over there is eating buckwheat. But this is clover, and this is a cover crop I planted in the fall and has come up now in the spring. And this will help fix the nitrogen in my soil. If you remember, I had said we had evidence of nitrogen, of excess, too much nitrogen in the soil last year. My plants were bushy and beautiful, but they did not produce as much fruit as they should have, which is usually a sign that you have too much nitrogen. Nitrogen makes things look really pretty. So I planted this clover to help fix the nitrogen in the soil, and it's kind of spread, as you can see. And there's also some buckwheat in here, which provides like a natural manure, and we'll till all of this up. It also provides nutrients for your feline friends. She comes down here and just munches away. All of creation, including us, need nutrients, and the soil has to be healthy so we can be healthy. So the point is, though, I'm gonna cover this space with a tarp, suppress some of these weeds, and then when we are ready to till it up in a couple weeks, it'll be easier to do rather than having weed seeds. We do not want these weeds going to seed and creating more weeds in the garden. So we're gonna go pick up our soil test at the co-op, gonna go to Harbor Freight, grab a tarp, do all the lovely garden things, even though it feels like winter today. It is cold. It is really cold. It was beautiful this week, and now it's cold again. This is spring in the south, so let's go. So I got a tarp today. We're gonna get the kids to help me put it in the garden. Hey bud, you wanna help me put this in the garden? You're planting? Oh no, what were you planting? Didn't work out?
I'm planting a strawberry tree.
You were trying to plant a strawberry tree? Oh, it didn't work out, huh? So this kale was in the garden since August, and it started to bolt this week because it's getting warm here. But fun thing about kale is if I would let this in the ground, the seed stalk would have came out and would have made little seed pods, and those are yummy to eat. Side note. My garden bed here is 24 by 20. So I got a tarp. Yes, darling. You want some scratch?
Yeah, for chicken.
For the chickens? Giving them a treat?
Ooh, they love it.
Look at Tinkerbell sticking her head in the bottom there. You guys are funny. And that is doing chores with kids. You get interrupted a lot, but that's all right. They're in play mode too, so I can make them help me, but sometimes I just let him play. And he likes his chicken friends. I didn't get a tarp to cover the whole area because I have some perennial stuff over here. So this is all oregano that is coming back up for the season. And And over here is my trellis that I'm gonna be planting some peas on here probably in the next week or so. So there's a lot of weeds here. I'm just gonna dig this by myself, kind of till up that area. I think that's it. Job done. Covered it. I should have done this in the fall. Why I didn't, I don't know. I think it was kind of an idea that was kind of last minute, and we're like, well, let's try it. Stop the weeds a little bit, but it would have been better to have it on in the fall, and this would be bare ground. My soil analysis was ready at the co-op today, so we picked that up, and to be honest, I am not a scientist. So he handed me this piece of paper. I will show it to you. And I said, what do I do with that? So he was very kind and explained it a little bit to me. Good old friend Google, when I came home, explained it even further and made sense of it. So what I had thought with my soil this year was that it was high in nitrogen. It shows that the things that I had done to neutralize the nitrogen in the soil by doing cover crop. I had planted a lot of green beans last year. Green beans are really good at fixing nitrogen in the soil. So my soil that I tested a few weeks ago only needs like a little bit of nitrogen fixing, not a lot. So he said that won't be hard to fix, and I don't need to do much to fix that. My pH was 6.5. Ideally, you want to have a pH from like 6 to 7. So that was cool that my pH is doing good. You need pH, a healthy pH level, so your plants pull up all the nutrients they need from the soil. And the other thing that I need to fix is my soil is lacking in potassium. And potassium is really important because that will help aid your plants in producing food. They're not stunted in growth. They're not stunted in like flowering, all those things. And you can do this naturally, ideally with a compost pile. That is on my list of things that I want to do, is to make a compost pile, because you can add in banana peels and coffee grounds and all these wood ash, fruits, things like this that add potassium to the compost, but we don't have a compost pile. So I have to figure out a little bit how I want to go about this. So, soil test. It was fun. I learned a lot. I got a little science lesson. I felt like I Googled how to read my soil analysis when I got home, and I learned a lot. I really did. I always knew that there's 3 components to healthy soil and healthy plants. You need nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. I cannot say that word for the life of me. Those 3 things are essential to the growth of your plants. That's what I learned. If you have questions, we'll talk about it. We're learning this process as we go. This was fun. I don't know it all. I'm still figuring it out. You can learn with me. If you've done soil testing before, I would love to know your recommendations of what you did to your garden to fix some of these nutrients in your soil. I love learning from people. It's just fun.